A, better than me, then he lying. A, money older than Joe Biden. Facts. What's up, everybody? This is Ari Melber from MSNBC's The Beat with Ari Melber, and I'm here to break down some political rap lyrics on Between the Lines. When I was in high school, the big anthems that I think about was Bob Marley, Get Up, Stand Up, a lot of NWA and Public Enemy. When I got older, I definitely was a huge fan of Mos Def and Black on Both Sides and Black Star. And then you have other artists who are not explicitly political. It's not like every album is trying to make some socially conscious statement, but when you listen, you realize, oh wow, Jay-Z and Kanye and Kendrick are all talking about what it means to exist in this political system. And what does the system do? What opportunities does it afford? How many things that are unjust, unfair, that are not right, aren't just naturally occurring like a tornado, which is also unfair, but are decisions made by people in power. That's what politics is about, and hip-hop has always said, wake up, look at this. Hood politics. Kendrick Lamar, streets don't fail me now, they tell me it's a new gang in town. From Compton to Congress, set tripping all around. Ain't nothing new but a flu of new demo crips and re-bloodikins. Red state versus a blue state, which one you governing? This is fantastic. You could roll this into any election segment. Kendrick is telling us that you can see politicians and Congress as just another set of gangs out for themselves. And he's pointing out the red state, blue, Crip, blood, red dynamic. Just because one party is slightly better on something doesn't mean that the system is really working. Particularly for the most marginalized communities in America. Infrared, Pusha T. The lyric pennant equal the Trumps winning. The bigger question is how the Russians did it. It was written like Nas, but it came from Quentin. You know, this is something where you have an artist picking up a conversation that's obviously going on. Hip hop is always so current. I don't know whether Pusha is weighing in on whether he thinks this exposed Russian influence operation actually tipped the election, or if he's just engaging the conversation that was obviously all over the place. Everyone was talking about Russia. Was it overplayed or not? The bigger question, how the Russians did it. Well, they did something. I don't take it as Pusha necessarily telling us exactly where he lands on that, but he's definitely engaging that question. Then he's got a classic reference to a great Nas song off Illmatic. Came from Quentin, now he's back to dissing Drake and reminding us that in Pusha's view, as he's argued so many times, Drake is not a, quote, real MC. Americans, Janelle Monae. Hands go up, men go down, try my luck, stand my ground, die in church, live in jail, say her name, twice in hell, Uncle Sam kissed a man, Jim Crow, Jesus rose again. Every tragic video of a police shooting or police brutality that goes viral is providing documentary evidence of the same stories hip-hop was telling for decades. Janelle Monae here is doing so much so fast. Die in church. Black Americans go to church and are murdered in a terrorist hate crime. Live in jail, a society that continually pushes all of these people into a mass incarceration system and says, well, that's where you belong. That's where you can live, but you're going to die just being literally a God-fearing church worshiper. Everyone can see what's wrong with that. The videos today are a technological echo of the stories hip-hop's already been telling. And so it's very important that people look and listen to this and understand, wow, this is rooted in something. This is an account of what's happening. Super Saiyan, Lil Uzi Vert. A, better than me, then he lying. A, money older than Joe Biden. Look, this is a very complex lyric that alludes to the fact that Joe Biden is mad old. The Box, Roddy Ricch. I'm a 2020 president candidate. I done put 100 bands on Zimmerman. Roddy knows that his listeners are going to remember the Zimmerman case, which was one of the cases during the Obama era that just blasted on into the conversations about Black Lives Matter and double standards in the law. And he's not over-explaining it. This is, again, not him going into why the stand your ground law in the state statutes of Florida is widely used to the benefit of white defendants and not black defendants, and thus is another unseen or secretive way that our justice system continues to racially discriminate. He's not going that far. Zimmerman, boom. A lot of people are going to understand that, and he knows that. Ye versus the people, Kanye West. I know Obama was heaven sent. But ever since Trump won, it proved that I could be president. We can do a whole Genius Between the Lines just on Kanye's politics. They may be nonsensical, but they are not meaningless to him. When Kanye looks at Trump, he looks at him like a sneaker and says, wow, it's so shiny and it's different than the other sneakers. And everyone said it wouldn't work and it did. And he identifies with that. He's not looking inside the sneaker and saying, wow, but it's separating families at the border. What are the immigration policies inside the sneaker? Or wow, it's not equipped to deal with a pandemic. So more people are dying because of that. Because Kanye's not a policy analyst to begin with. If we ask artists to share all of themselves with us, including their politics, we are going to then learn things about artists that we disagree with. Nature of the Beast, Black Thought. Yo, lost generation, mask-faced nation, world population confronting their frustration. A wait station full of COVID-19 patients in every complexion like ice cream flavors. Here it is, pandemic hip-hop. Black Thought has always been a very conscious artist, also known for his incredible freestyles. I mean, he'll give you political theory in a Hot 97 freestyle. Brackets, J.Cole. Let me pick the things I'm funding from an app on my screen, better than letting whack congressmen I've never seen dictate where my money go, straight into the palms of some money-hungry company that make guns that circulate the country. J. Cole fits into a tradition of a lot of political hip-hop that is not easily boxed. Once you really get into it, this is a more traditionally conservative style view that you don't want national federalism. You don't want a faraway government making decisions and taking your money that far away just to bring it back. This has a little more digital vibe of how we live now. What if I could do it on an app? What if we could do it locally? But really, when you think about it, this fits into the larger debate the founders were having 200 years ago that goes on to this day, how much power should be far away. And the more skeptical you are of government, libertarians and conservative Republicans are skeptical in a certain way, and a lot of people oriented towards civil rights and economic injustice are skeptical in a different way. But the skepticism in common is, as J. Cole says, why are you going to let some whack congressman that you've never seen in D.C. take your money and spend it if you don't trust them to be on your side? Like Home, Eminem. This chump barely even sleeps. All he does is watch Fox News like a parrot and repeats while he looks like a canary with a beak. Donald Trump has a history with hip-hop, and at one time he was the most cited living person in all of rap. But when he was most cited, he was a symbol of kind of gauche spending. He wasn't out there as much doing his politics, so everyone can change positions. Eminem is someone who has always upset the establishment. And then here, using straight battle bars. I mean, he's addressing Donald Trump like it's the last scene in 8 Mile and acting like he's winning this battle and really going at Trump for just being a parrot of Fox News and then going at him personally. He's just saying, you look like a canary. You gonna learn. Royce to 5'9". If y'all against talking reparation, then I'm not against the thought of separation, while the politicians that are white and privileged ask how is this different from segregation. That's funny, bro. Segregation is being told where I'm gonna go. Separation is being woke and going wherever I wanna go. Royce is doing something really deep here because he's weaving together the debate over reparations with the historic Black Power Back to Africa movement. And he's saying if the country's not gonna ever deal with this, then maybe you leave the country. And this goes all the way back to George Clinton and put a glide in your stride and a dip in your hip and come onto the mothership, which was this groovy psychedelic talk that also was echoing the Black Power movement's talk about returning to Africa, which was something that Malcolm X and other members of the Black Panthers were talking about as an alternative to trying to, quote unquote, challenge or fix the American system. Royce is confronting people who criticize the idea of that back to Africa movement or fleeing America, leaving America. He's addressing critics who say, well, wait, isn't that just like segregation? Just because something sounds similar doesn't mean it has the same legal or moral force. This is where hip-hop is doing political work. There is an important debate within hip-hop and politics to be had of if you want to fix this, if you want to fix the way the DAs work, the way the criminal justice system works, the for-profit prisons, then you have every right to say, as Kendrick is saying, well, they're both gangs, they're not for me, or J. Cole saying, I never met any of these politicians. There's truth in that, which I discussed. But there's also a question of if you really want to build that next level power and you want politicians going to Jay and Diddy and Beyonce and you want them to be kingmakers along with the community, how do you engage in a sustained way? And then the final theme is, will Kanye run for president? The Box, Roddy Ricch. Do I need to go, ee, ooh, ee, ooh? I should really stay in my lane.